Have you ever wondered what was truly going through Simba's mind during that final, epic showdown with Scar? It wasn't just a fight for the throne, it was a battle for his very soul. A desperate struggle against the darkness that his uncle represented. This is the story of the Last of Mufasa. The final, brutal confrontation between the rightful king and the tyrant who stole everything from him. When Simba returns to the Pride Lands, he doesn't just see a desolate wasteland. He sees the ghost of his father's dream. A kingdom of balance and light, now twisted into a shadowy, decaying nightmare by Scar's selfish rule. This isn't just about reclaiming land. It's about restoring a sacred legacy. The sky itself seems to mourn, with dark clouds and lightning mirroring the turmoil in Simba's heart. He's not just fighting an uncle. He's fighting the embodiment of despair. Think about that moment when Scar, cornered and desperate, whispers those venomous words. "It was I who killed Mufasa." In that instant, the world stops for Simba. The ground beneath his paws might as well have crumbled. This wasn't just a confession. It was a psychological bomb. For years, Simba has carried the crushing weight of guilt, believing his own childish mistake led to his father's death. That guilt shaped him, drove him into exile, and defined his entire existence. Scar's words are a key, unlocking a prison of self-blame that has held Simba captive for years. The shock is immediate, but what follows is a pure, righteous fury. It's the roar of a king who has been lied to, of a son whose grief was manipulated. This isn't just anger. It's a volcanic eruption of pain, betrayal, and a sudden, terrifying clarity. The gentle, fun-loving lion we saw in the jungle is gone, replaced by a warrior fueled by a lifetime of suppressed sorrow. Now, let's break down the fight itself. This isn't just claw against claw. It's a clash of ideologies. Scar is the master of cheap shots and manipulation. He fights dirty, using lies and deceit as his primary weapons. He tries to turn the pride against Simba, to sow seeds of doubt. He represents the easy path, the one of shortcuts and selfishness. He's a survivor, but at the cost of everything and everyone around him. His movements are quick, desperate, and filled with a cowardly rage. He's not fighting to win, he's fighting not to lose. Simba, on the other hand, fights with the weight of his legacy. Every move is powered by his father's teachings. He's strong, direct, and honorable, even in his rage. He is the circle of life in motion, a force of nature seeking to restore balance. You can see Mufasa in his stance, in the power of his pounce. He's not just fighting for himself. He's fighting for his mother, for Nala, for the starving land, and for the very soul of the Pride Lands. He is the living embodiment of responsibility and honor. One of the most powerful and often overlooked moments is when Simba has Scar cornered, just as Scar once had Mufasa. The parallel is chilling. The storm rages, the fire burns, and for a split second, Simba has the chance to become the very thing he's fighting against. He could give in to that all-consuming rage, and end Scar right there, mirroring his father's murder. This is the true test. Will he let Scar's darkness infect him? And in that critical moment, Mufasa's true legacy shines through. Simba pulls back. He chooses mercy. "No, Scar, I'm not like you," he declares. This is the ultimate victory. It's not about killing Scar. It's about proving that the lessons of his father, lessons of justice, honor, and compassion are stronger than the cycle of vengeance. By offering Scar a chance at exile, Simba breaks the chain of hatred. He proves that true strength lies not in the ability to kill, but in the wisdom to show mercy. He is Mufasa's son, not just in blood, but in spirit. Of course, Scar being Scar, can't accept this. His pride and his treachery are his undoing. He attacks Simba one last time, a final, desperate act of a cornered animal, and in a beautiful piece of poetic justice. Simba uses a move taught to him by Nala in their playful jungle reunion to send Scar tumbling over the cliff edge. It shows that his past, even the carefree Hakuna Matata years, has prepared him for this moment. Everything has come full circle. But the final justice doesn't come from Simba's claws. It comes from the very ally Scar created through fear and betrayal. The hyenas, he had promised them a future, a partnership, but in his final moments of desperation, he threw them under the bus, calling them the enemy. And they, feeling the sting of his ultimate betrayal, are the ones who deliver the final blow. It's a perfect, tragic end for a villain who built his entire kingdom on broken promises and manipulation. His own darkness consumes him. As the rain begins to fall, it's more than just water. It's a baptism for the Pride Lands, washing away the dirt, the decay, and the darkness of Scar's reign. It cleanses the land and signals the start of a new era. When Simba ascends Pride Rock, it's not just a physical climb, it's a spiritual journey. He is no longer the lost cub or the carefree exile. He has faced his past, conquered his demons, and embraced his destiny. He looks up at the sky, and the clouds part. A single star shines brightly, and we hear Mufasa's voice. Remember, it's a reminder that even though he is gone, his wisdom, his love, and his spirit live on through Simba. The Last of Mufasa isn't a story of an ending, but of a continuation. The light of the rightful king has returned, not by destroying the darkness, but by rising above it. Simba's roar at the end isn't just a sound of victory. It's a promise of renewal, of hope, and of a return to the circle of life. It's the sound of a king who has earned his crown not through birthright alone, but through trial, sacrifice, and an unwavering commitment to the light. The darkness is defeated, not just on the battlefield, but within Simba's own heart. And that is the true, enduring legacy of Mufasa. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of the most iconic moments in animation history. About a lion reclaiming his throne, it's a profound look at leadership, legacy, and the battle between light and darkness that rages within us all. Let's start with Mufasa's reign. He wasn't just a king. He was a symbol of balance and wisdom. He taught Simba about the circle of life, the idea that every creature is connected, from the crawling ant to the leaping antelope. Mufasa's leadership was built on respect for this delicate balance, on responsibility, and on a deep love for his kingdom and his family. He was strong, yes, but his strength was tempered with compassion. He ruled not through fear, but through inspiration. This was the world Simba was born into, a world of light, order, and purpose. Mufasa was preparing Simba not just to be a ruler, but to be a guardian of this sacred harmony. But where there is light, a shadow is always cast, and that shadow was Scar. Scar, Mufasa's own brother, represents the antithesis of everything Mufasa stood for. While Mufasa embraced the circle of life, Scar saw it as a chain, a system that put him on the sidelines. He was consumed by jealousy, a gnawing bitterness that twisted his intelligence into cunning manipulation. He believed power wasn't something you earned through respect, but something you seized through force and deceit. Scar's famous line, "I'm surrounded by idiots," reveals his core belief. He sees himself as superior, entitled to rule, and views everyone else as mere pawns in his game. The moment that changes everything is, of course, Mufasa's tragic death. This isn't just a physical death. It's the death of an era, the snuffing out of the light. Scar masterfully orchestrates this tragedy, exploiting Simba's youthful innocence and his desire to please his father. The stampede scene is pure psychological warfare. Scar doesn't just kill Mufasa. He manipulates Simba into believing it was his fault. "Run away, Simba," he hisses. "Run away and never return." This single command plants a seed of guilt and shame so deep that it exiles Simba not just from the Pride Lands, but from himself. Scar successfully shatters Simba's world and his identity, replacing the bright future of a king with the dark past of a supposed parasite. Forced into exile, Simba finds an unlikely paradise with Timon and Pumbaa. Their philosophy, Hakuna Matata, which means no worries, is the perfect antidote to his overwhelming guilt. It's a life of blissful ignorance, a complete rejection of responsibility and the past. For a while, this is exactly what Simba needs. He needs to forget, to grow up, without the crushing weight of his perceived failure. But Hakuna Matata is a double-edged sword. While it saves him from his trauma, it also keeps him from his destiny. He's no longer the prince haunted by his past, but he's also not the king he was born to be. He's living in a comfortable, stagnant limbo, detached from the circle of life he was meant to lead. Meanwhile, back in the Pride Lands, Scar's reign begins, and it is the complete opposite of Mufasa's. Where Mufasa saw balance, Scar sees only opportunity for exploitation. He unleashes the hyenas, disrupting the natural order and allowing them to overhunt. The once lush Pride Lands wither and die under his rule. This visual decay is a powerful metaphor for his leadership style. It's a reign built on selfishness, greed, and fear. The hyenas, his enforcers, rule through intimidation, and the lionesses are left powerless and starving. Scar proves that leadership without responsibility, without respect for the circle of life, leads only to destruction. The kingdom becomes a reflection of its king, barren, dark, and devoid of life. The turning point for Simba comes with the arrival of Nala and the mystical intervention of Rafiki. Nala serves as a living, breathing reminder of the world he left behind. She tells him of the devastation under Scar's rule, forcing him to confront the consequences of his absence. But it's Rafiki who truly guides him back to himself. Rafiki doesn't just tell him to go back. He leads him on a spiritual journey. The iconic scene where Simba looks into the water is so powerful. At first, he sees only his own reflection, the face of his guilt. But Rafiki tells him to look harder. And there, he sees Mufasa. He lives in you, Rafiki says. This is the moment of epiphany. Simba realizes that his father's spirit, his wisdom, and his strength were never truly gone. They were always a part of him. He isn't running from his father's ghost. He is the living legacy of his father. This realization transforms Simba. He stops running from his past and decides to embrace it. He returns to the Pride Lands not as the frightened cub who ran away, but as the rightful king ready to claim his destiny. The final confrontation between Simba and Scar is more than just a physical fight. It's a battle of ideologies. It takes place atop Pride Rock, amidst fire and ruin, the perfect backdrop for this clash of light and darkness. When Simba finally corners Scar, he offers him the same choice Scar gave him years ago. Run away, and never return. This is a crucial moment. It shows that Simba is Mufasa's son. He's offering mercy, a chance for redemption that Scar never would have considered. He is choosing to rule with compassion, not vengeance. But Scar, true to his nature, chooses deceit one last time. He attacks Simba, but in his desperation, he makes a fatal mistake. He blames the hyenas, his only allies, sealing his own fate. It's the ultimate irony. The manipulator is undone by his own manipulation. The hyenas, feeling betrayed, turn on him, and Scar is consumed by the very chaos he created. Wheat Scar gone. The darkness lifts as Simba ascends Pride Rock and lets out a mighty roar. The rains begin to fall, washing away the decay and symbolizing a new beginning. Life returns to the Pride Lands. The film ends where it began, with a presentation of a new cub, completing the circle of life. Simba's journey shows us that true leadership isn't about avoiding the past or ignoring responsibility. It's about facing your demons, learning from your mistakes, and understanding that you are part of something much larger than yourself. Mufasa's light was never truly extinguished. It was just waiting within Simba to be read. So, the story of Simba and Scar teaches us a timeless lesson. True strength isn't about brute force or cunning. It's about integrity, responsibility, and the courage to face the darkness, both outside and within. It's a reminder that even after the longest, darkest night, the sun will always rise again. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the Lion King. A lioness, once fiercely loyal to Scar, has raised his forgotten son, a cub named Kovu. Now, hold on. I know what you're thinking. Isn't this just the plot of the Lion King too? Well, yes and no. This story takes that familiar premise and twists it into something much darker and more complex. In this version, Zira isn't just a devoted follower. She's a master strategist, a cunning manipulator who has spent years poisoning Kovu's mind. She hasn't just taught him to fight. She has sculpted him into a living weapon, his heart filled with a thirst for vengeance he believes is his own. Zira's plan isn't a simple, brutish invasion. It's a quiet infiltration. She knows she can't win with force alone, so she orchestrates a chance encounter. She stages a dramatic rescue where Kovu saves Kiara from a wildfire fire Zira herself secretly started. This single act of staged heroism is the key that unlocks the gates of Pride Rock. Simba, ever distrustful of outsiders, is hesitant. He sees the shadow of Scar in Kovu's eyes. But Kiara, with her mother's compassionate heart, sees something else. She sees a lion trapped by his past, not defined by it. She believes in second chances, and Nala, wise and perceptive, urges Simba to look beyond his prejudice. And so, against his better judgment, Simba allows Kovu to stay, placing the snake directly into the heart of his kingdom. This is where the real psychological battle begins. Kovu is torn. He arrived with one mission: get close to Simba and eliminate him. But the warmth of the Pride Lands, the genuine kindness of Kiara, and the sense of belonging he never knew he craved start to chip away at the armor of hatred Zira built around his heart. He sees a world where lions live in harmony, not in a constant struggle for power. He starts to question everything. He is being tugged. Meanwhile, Zira isn't just waiting in the wings. She's actively sowing discord. She uses her other cubs, Nuka and Vitani, to spread rumors and create tension. Nuka, desperate for his mother's approval, becomes more reckless, trying to prove he's a worthy heir. Vitani, sharp and observant, begins to see the cracks in her mother's obsessive plan. She starts to wonder if this path of revenge is truly the way forward. The turning point comes during a hunt. Kovu and Simba are alone, tracking a herd of antelope. This is the moment Zira has planned for. It's an ambush. The outsiders emerge from the shadows, surrounding Simba. It's Kovu's chance to strike, to fulfill his destiny and avenge Scar. The outsiders wait for his signal. But Kovu hesitates. In that split second, he sees not a tyrant, but a father. He sees the king who brought life back to the Pride Lands. And he makes a choice. Instead of attacking Simba, he turns and fights alongside him, defending the king against his own family. The ambush fails, but the damage is done. Simba, seeing the trap, believes Kovu led him into it. His worst fears are confirmed. Blinded by betrayal and fear, Simba exiles, Kovu casting him out just as he had done with the other followers of Scar years ago. The judgment is swift and brutal. Judgment for the animals of the Pride Lands, swayed by fear, turn their backs on him. Kiara is heartbroken, her belief in Kovu shattered by her father's decree. She feels betrayed not just by Kovu, but by Simba's inability to see past the ghost of his uncle. This exile is Zira's final gambit. With Kovu gone and the Pride Lands in turmoil, she launches her all-out assault. This isn't just a battle, it's a civil war. Lioness against lioness, brother against sister. The two prides clash under a sky dark with storm clouds, a mirror of the hatred tearing them apart. It's a brutal, desperate fight, fueled by years of resentment and misunderstanding. In the midst of the chaos, Kiara makes a stand. She defies her father and races to find Kovu. She finds him alone, lost and despairing. But her faith in him reignites his hope. Together, they realize the only way to end the war is to confront it head-on. They race back to Pride Rock, not to fight, but to unite. They arrive as Simba and Zira are locked in a final, deadly confrontation on the edge of a gorge. Kiara and Kovu throw themselves between the two leaders, pleading for peace. Kiara's words echo through the storm. We are one. She explains that there is no difference between us and them. They are all lions, bound by the same circle of life. Her words resonate with some of the outsiders. Vitani is the first to cross the line, joining the Pridelanders. Others follow, abandoning Zira's hopeless war. Zira, consumed by her hatred, sees only betrayal. She lunges at Simba, but Kiara intercepts her. The two lionesses tumble over the cliff's edge. Kiara scrambles for a handhold, but Zira is swept away by the raging river below, consumed by the very same darkness she sought to unleash upon the Pride Lands. Her legacy of hate is washed away, leaving behind a chance for a new beginning. In the aftermath, the two prides, battered and weary, stand together. Simba, humbled and regretful, finally sees the truth. He looks at Kovu, not as Scar's heir, but as a brave lion who chose love over hate. Eapologises, admitting his own prejudice, almost destroyed them all. The story ends with the reunification of the prides. Kovu is welcomed back, not as an outsider, but as family. The final scene mirrors the beginning of the first film, but with a powerful difference. On Pride Rock, Simba and Nala stand with Kiara and Kovu. The roar that echoes across the plains is not just from one royal family, but from a united pride, stronger and wiser for having faced the shadows of their past. The Crown of Shadows is a powerful reminder that legacies are not written in blood, but are forged by the choices we make. It shows that even the deepest wounds can heal, and that empathy and understanding are the true strengths of a king and of a kingdom. What do you think of this alternate timeline? Does it add more depth to the world of the Lion King? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this dive into a classic story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you next time.